Hello everybody! Infinite Shinjo here. Welcome back to the second part of the Q&A. Last time I decided to start up a Q&A series and you guys have been pouring in the questions, well, more than I expected. So I'm just going to get into the questions. This is the best alternative that I could have to showing the questions, because rather than just take a picture of each one and have it go on the screen, I figure this is just a better alternative. And there might be a bit of cuts here and there, but you probably won't even notice anyway. So to start, Yuki Sakazaki says, if you could make your own Pokemon ROM hack or fan game, what features would you add to it? What would the name of it be? And what would the story be? And honestly, this is a question that I've never considered, because I can imagine either as a kid or even now, any Pokemon fan would just die if they could make their own game. Well, not literally die, but you get my point. But I've never really thought about it, honestly. If I would have to give an answer, I would probably have it be either Pokemon Boundary or something like that. Basically something along the storylines of focusing on Kyurem. Now, this already did happen in Black 2 and White 2, but have it be a story where Kyurem is a big focus of it, and the big climax of the story is Kyurem fusing with Reshiram and Zekrom to make the original dragon that they talk about in every installment of Gen 5. Even though it's been talked about so many times, it's never been officially revealed what the design of it looks like, what the name of it is, typing, anything like that. And I feel like that's honestly a missed opportunity, because they've teased it so much. And they even teased it in Insurgents, but as far as I know, there hasn't been an official reveal of it. Of course, that's a fan game, so you can't really go by that regardless. But if it's not anything involving that, probably just good old Sinnoh, maybe a 2-year time skip in the Sinnoh region, because I love my Sinnoh. Migate no Gogeta asks, what are your thoughts on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Range dub? A channel called Just Some Clips uploaded dub clips of the series, and leaves a link. And this is actually a funny story, because back, I can't remember the date of it, but they had the showing of the first episode in theaters, and I was able to watch it, not in theaters, but I found some clips that were kind of fuzzy quality online. And just last night I came home from work and I saw the first 2 episodes were dubbed. I think it was on Teletoon that they were shown on September 1st. I watched the second episode of it because I already watched clips of the first one. And honestly, I'm really liking it. One thing I like, the intro. It's not like GX, 5Ds, actually any of them outside of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Range just has an instrumental opening. And honestly, I think that's probably a good thing, because it just adds to the ominousness of Range. Because I've watched Range sub, I'm keeping up watching Range sub, and I know that it gets wild and dark, and I am really excited to see how they're going to handle it in the dub. But even more, I feel like a lot of the dub cast are very good roles. I specifically like Jake Pack as Yusaku. His voice is just so cool, and it really fits with the character. And I just love how Jake Pack can deliver that sort of sarcastic tone that Yusaku has. And even Ignis, I don't think there's been an official reveal of who voices Ignis in the dub, but I like the voice of Ignis, because I watched the second episode of it, and Yusaku's just doing the duel episode 2, he's riding on the board, and Ignis is just like, hey Playmaker, and Yusaku's like, what do you want, don't bother me, I'm busy dueling. And then Ignis is just like, oh okay, I guess you want to crash into that building. And I don't know if that was part of the sub of it, but if it was, I didn't catch it. But I just love that whole snarkiness with Ignis. It's just like, oh, I guess you want to crash into the building, fine then. But of course, I've only seen 2 episodes of the dub, so it's hard for me to make a fair estimate of it. But from what I've seen so far, I really like it. Dragon of Frost asks, what is your favorite anime opening of 2018? Now, when I initially recorded this and was thinking about what my answer would be, I was thinking I'm watching new anime, but also old anime. So I could really give answers for both, but I'm assuming that you're talking about specifically new from this year. And if I would have to pick, it's tough because a lot of anime that I'm watching new, I really like the openings for. And honestly, even some from a few seasons ago, I probably am forgetting right now, but there are probably a couple of openings that I really like. But a few that I like off the top are Go Forward from Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. It just has that cool beat, the lyrics of it are very inspirational, and Otomodachi film from Tadaku Never Falls in Love. Those are probably my top two. Omni Xerneas says, not sure if you ever read manga, but there's a manga called Pokemon Rebirth, which features humans fusing with Pokemon inside these crystals. Main character fuses with a Zekrom. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it on Kiss Manga's website. And to start, I haven't read much manga. My brother got a manga book, I think it was Pokemon Adventures, I'm not entirely sure which one it was. It's the one where Giovanni and the Mewtwo and stuff like that. I can't remember what volume it was. He took it back to the library now, so I can't really check. But I don't have much experience with manga, but I do know about Pokemon Rebirth because I know that as soon as Sun and Moon were revealed, everybody thought those little crystals on the logo were gonna be the same thing with this Pokemon Rebirth, and you were gonna be able to fuse with the starter Pokemon you choose or any Pokemon or something like that. Of course, that ended up being false, although to an extent, it still ended up being a bit true, because Necrozma does kind of fuse with Solgaleo and Lunala in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so they might have decided to do that after the backlash of Sun and Moon basically not being Pokemon Rebirth, but I highly doubt it. Frosty Lily asks, how are you liking the Sun and Moon anime so far? I'm glad they revealed Necrozma and soon to reveal Naganadel. I hope we get a Team Skull arc and they show Guzma and Plumeria. And to start on that question, I'm absolutely loving Sun and Moon. Probably a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I'm honestly enjoying Sun and Moon way more than XY and XY and Z. Because Sun and Moon does have those serious moments, but they also have hilarious moments, and it's more based comedy-wise, which I really like. Although that might be just me talking off on the hype of Sun and Moon at the moment. But I'm really enjoying the Necrozma arc. Every episode, I'm just on the edge of my seat wondering what's going to happen next. Because I honestly didn't expect Team Rocket of all to make a big role in it. And even Kukui and Faba taking on a Mega Aggron? I watched the episode where it actually starts. I haven't continued on with it because the episodes haven't been out yet. But I'm really enjoying how it's going to play out. And even the episode I watched, actually it was just this morning, where Naganadel was revealed. It was a bit weird that Naganadel can literally talk, but I guess it's probably been a little bit since a Pokemon has talked in the anime. Outside of movies, because I don't even want to get into Pikachu talking in that movie. But a Team Skull arc, I feel like it really needs to happen. Especially like you say, Guzma and Plumeria have not made any appearances, there's no hint that they'll be around, and I'm really upset about that because I really like Guzma's character in the games, so I feel like that would be a cool thing to include in the anime. Especially since Golisopod has not made a debut, I'm pretty sure, so that would be a cool way to debut Golisopod. Especially since overall it's weird that the leader of Team Skull isn't in the anime yet when Team Skull is, because every other evil team, the leader has made an appearance in the anime. But I feel like they might be just saving it till later, much like how they just kind of pushed Tierno, Trevor, and Shauna aside until later, like in X and Y. Arceus the Almighty One asks, what made you want to become a PokeTuber / anime tuber? And this is the main reason that I'm re-recording this video, because this comment came out after I recorded the last one, and this is just too good of a comment for me to ignore. And honestly, I really have no real reason why. I just thought, oh, it looks cool. I started with my fan-made openings, obviously. I just made them in my spare time, and I decided to just post them to YouTube to see how it would go. And needless to say, they did get some traction. And then from there, I decided to start doing Let's Plays, Nuzlocke, stuff like that, because that was what all the cool people were doing on YouTube. And now just going into anime, I'm really liking talking about anime, and I just like discussing it with other people. And I'm really happy that my Let's Talk Anime series took off, because I was worried about that at the start, because I wasn't sure how that was going to be. But really, the push was probably a lot of the people that I watch on YouTube, like Patters, Shady Penguin, those two in particular. I can see that they really enjoy making content, posting content, reacting to their comments, stuff like that. It's really clear that they really enjoy it, and even though I'm not making money from it, it's just cool to kind of have that same sort of feeling. And it's just fun to interact with other people about Pokemon or anime and stuff like that, especially with seasonal anime, because there might be an anime you're watching that I'm not, that I might end up liking when you leave a comment about that. Pokemon Ranger Boy 12 asks, who is best Pokemon waifu in Pokemon? Mostly the older females of Pokemon anime, not the young ones. And I am honestly not sure how to react to that question, because I definitely hear the word waifu being tossed around a lot of the time, but I'm not really sure how to answer this. I guess it really just boils down to anybody's personal preference, really. Like, I can tell from just looking on the internet that you could probably argue Gardevoir being Pokemon waifu. I'm not sure what the exact definition of what makes a Pokemon waifu, but needless to say, Gardevoir is one of them, for better or for worse. And needless to say, Cynthia and Lusamine are two as well. But it's weird because you mentioned older females in Pokemon, and there are a lot more younger ones than older ones. At least in my mind. I guess some ages aren't really revealed, but I feel like the top three for people in general will probably be Cynthia, Lusamine, and Olivia, because Olivia. But if I have to give one answer, probably Cynthia. There might be one that I'm missing, and I'm honestly not gonna be too upset if I forget one, because I could literally spend hours talking about this, but I'm not going to, because this video will be too long otherwise. Hero Volti asks, have you heard about the new Hero Academia One's Justice game? I've played it and it's awesome. I have heard of it, I haven't played it. I can guarantee that whatever system it's for, I probably don't have. Because if the game was just released, I would take a stab in the dark and say that it's probably on Switch, and I don't have a Switch. Although, I think it might be on PC as well. I'm not sure about that. But I have heard of it, I haven't played it. So, that's my answer. Honestly, if it's for a console that I have, then I'd probably be willing to buy it. But since it's new, it's probably on a console that I don't have. Which is honestly upsetting, because an Academia game would be probably something that I would like, but if it's on a console that I don't have, there's not really much I can do otherwise buy the console and the game and then end up broke. But that is the end of this first episode, and those last few comments from what made me want to be an AniTuber and on up those last three, they weren't in the last recording that I did. I just wanted to include them because they were some interesting questions, especially what made me want to start posting on YouTube. But that is the end of this first part, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, hit that like button down below and subscribe, because next week, as far as if everything goes correctly, is going to be a different video where a friend and I talk about anime. So if you're interested in anime, you're not going to want to miss that. But make sure to leave any other questions that you have either in this video or the original video, and I will get to them next month. Momentai. 大体エスタデイ365日分の学びをカバンに詰め込んでいつもみたい